Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, in this talk, I will share lessons learned in how we can use the COVID-19 pandemic to push for diversity and equality in the workplace. But first, let me put these lessons into context. I'm 40. A heterosexual woman in a relationship with my life partner, Michael. Together as working parents, we are raising our now 6-month-old daughter in Vienna suburbs. I've lived, studied, and worked across Europe and Africa. I'm highly educated, run my own business, and preside over an NGO. Together with my 3 siblings, I was raised with Christian values by immigrant parents. And I belong to 0.5% of people with African roots out of a population of 8.7 million in Austria. So you see, my diversity footprint is gigantic. I'm not an activist and not an influencer. I simply have a quest for diversity and equality. I'm living it, study it, and I use my minority status to transform the mindset of people. A couple of years ago, in 2019 to be precise, I was hired to lead a discussion for a global event focusing on gender and social responsibility. What stuck with me was a prediction made by the World Economic Forum that it will take another 99.5 years to achieve global gender equality. That was before the pandemic. Fast forward today, we are experiencing a severe setback in the fight for gender equality. Women's career opportunities have worsened than men's due to COVID-19. The only jobs that thrive are those with a lower economic value. You know which ones I'm talking about: cashiers, carer, cleaner, basically pink collar positions that are often available part-time and often occupied by women and migrants. Suppose nothing is done to deal with the pandemic's impact on working women. In that case, more women will leave the workforce permanently. This damage could cost us more time and money, and surely sleepless nights. So how is it possible that COVID-19 could be the driving force for equality and diversity? How can the pandemic help us push for diversity and equality? Let's look at childcare and other care responsibilities. Do you need to reduce your working hours? Or even worse, did you turn down a promotion? How many of you feel guilty for not giving your kids the attention that they actually deserve during the lockdown? Let me tell you, you're not alone. Childcare appears to be a significant challenge in times of lockdown. WoMentor and Deloitte Austria, they exposed that 76% of employees, they cited childcare as a challenge to handle during the pandemic. 76%, let that sink in. We need childcare to work. Other than home, children need to be at a place that promotes their healthy development while we are working. Let us not forget the hidden champions among us, the single parents and those of you who take care of sick and elderly parents. The childcare crisis is bad for relationships, bad for business, and definitely bad for the economy. On another note, do you know what's also very terrible? The lack of gender imbalance in childcare. How are we supposed to promote gender equality if children only have contact with men between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.? We need more men in childcare. So how can we draw equality from the childcare crisis? Let's take Norway as an example. Norway has a large percentage of male workers in kindergarten. Why? Norway makes it work through government initiatives. And their preschool curriculum focuses on literacy, nature, and outdoor play. So we can make it happen. Companies could offer childcare services. Whether you hire a certified childminder or engage a kindergarten, corporate childcare is an excellent solution to employees, their families, and of course, your company as a whole. If it weren't for the crisis, Michael would have not spent enough time to bond with our daughter. He's taking care of her right now while I'm here speaking to you. Let's look at another challenge: remote work. We're forced to dial into video meetings while our children or pets demand attention. Perhaps you're homeschooling your children during lunchtime, entertaining them in the afternoon. Some of us support our aging parents with shopping, digital bureaucracy, and other duties. Some of you may even share your offices with your life partner or flatmate. Day in, day out, it's a struggle. No wonder WoMentor and Deloitte Austria's study revealed that 51% of respondents see the switch to home office and remote working as a major challenge. The pandemic lockdown has turned our otherwise quiet and serene homes into multi-purpose venues. Your home is now either or a kindergarten, a school, a library, gym, entertainment joint, restaurant, and office, you name it. So, how can we yield opportunities from remote work? Overall, remote working is popular among women. However, we need to be mindful that remote work doesn't work for everyone, particularly if you're single, an extrovert, or a man. Rethink your flexible workplace arrangements. Remote working shouldn't necessarily mean working from home. Suppose you are in charge of the performance of your workplace. In that case, you can source a co-working company that offers affordable corporate deals. Check if your local co-working space can facilitate childcare in a soundproof area, or perhaps you can find a spare room at your workplace to convert to a childcare zone. There's no excuse. Regardless, provide employees with a professional environment outside of their home, even if only for a few days of work. Make a record and you'll see that their productivity will swiftly increase. Co-working works for me. Once the lockdown restriction eased, I quickly furnished my office at Funkensprung co-working company with a travel crib. Now I take my daughter along with me for a couple of days a week. Perhaps some of you listening could join forces with me. Together, we could arrange for a certified childminder. The minder could take care of our kids while we are working just a few doors away, so we can focus on our work. Reach out on LinkedIn if you're interested. Now, let's look at a very serious topic: our mental health. The COVID-19 crisis has mentally affected us all, one way or the other. We feel isolated, stressed, and depressed. Particularly those of us that live in Europe, we have to endure the dark winter months. Vitamin D doesn't help. It does, but it's not enough. The economic uncertainty has pushed us from working from home to overworking from home. We rarely take breaks and find it difficult to turn off our job responsibilities at the end of the day. WoMentor and Deloitte Austria revealed a dirty secret. 41% of employees demand support services for their mental health. 41% doesn't appear low. The dark numbers are much higher because men are struggling to admit to this problem. Now, why doesn't this come as a surprise? Gender equality is not a woman's problem. I believe it's crucial to include men in the discussion when we talk about equality and diversity. Patriarchy, toxic masculinity are evil constructs of society. The Trump era proved this. Toxic masculinity is bad for men's health and prevents men from seeking help. My father, who I love dearly, is what we describe as an alpha male. A few years ago, just before the weekend, he returned to Austria from his trip to Nigeria. He promised my brother Philip to help him fix the curtain rails in his new flat on the weekend. However, he did complain about a throbbing pain in his leg. His stereotypical masculine beliefs prevented him from asking for medical help. That was on the 16th of April, a Thursday. And on Saturday, the 18th of April, he was dead. What killed him was a blood clot in his leg that traveled to his lungs, which in turn triggered a heart attack. He'd probably still be alive if he swallowed his pride and asked for medical attention. You know, a bandage and aspirin could have saved him. So you see, toxic masculinity kills. So how can gender equality protect our mental health? Seek help, call a hotline, talk to a therapist, take care of yourself, connect with colleagues, friends, or family online, even if they go on your nerves. It's just for a few minutes. Every social connection helps. Suppose you're interested in looking after the mental well-being of your employees. In that case, it helps to subsidize life coach sessions, arrange virtual networking events, or sponsor skills development workshops. One of my clients, a company called Great Place to Work, they offer their employees in Austria weekly exercises and business language classes online. You should actually check them out, because what they also do is to assess the overall culture of your company. And they have several tools to measure gender and diversity in the workplace, but I digress here. Oh, and for all the men out there, make use of paternity leave, or look for companies' paternity leave policies before you accept the position. You could improve your relationship with your partner and boost each other's mental health by taking a break. Both parents would benefit immensely from a paternity leave. So what are the lessons learned? Before the COVID-19, we've spent decades raising awareness. It's been proven in theory and in practice that equality and diversity brings an innovation culture, improves organizational performance, increases productivity, and an overall competitive advantage. So now, in times of COVID-19, it's time to act. It's time to act. Suppose you notice your employer is not working towards a progressive organizational culture. In that case, it's up to you to take a lead. If all fails, make a career change. Join the WoMentor community that connects you with highly skilled women and empathetic men. Make use of grant opportunities for startups led by women. Let us seize the opportunity brought by COVID-19 crisis to plan, negotiate, and implement flexible working arrangements that do not affect our mental health. And let's include men in the quest for gender equality. As the Chinese saying goes, crisis brings opportunity and change. I firmly believe that. Take it from me. If I can make it work, so can you.